Bonjour. Hello, my name is Damon Dominique, and I'm here in my hometown of Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is the place I grew up. Not here. This is a replica of the fort that the French built when they came here. I read that on my little fact sheet that I got right here. So let's just put it this way. We know that I'm living in Paris, France right now, but I am from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And how funny is it that my, I guess, ancestors back in the day came to America for whatever reason, just for me to go back to France. The second part of that is that I'm from Fort Wayne, right, which has one of the largest genealogy centers in the entire United States. So today I'm gonna go with my cousin, Alisha, and we're gonna go, check out our family tree. See if our family came from Paris. Imagine they're from Paris, and then I can go check them out when I'm in Paris. Come on. All right, let's go.
She gonna have to excuse my ex. I may have to excuse her. Try to make me go to rehab. I said.
Alisha. Oh, she has her binder and everything.
It's actually grandma, like pre-internet. I mean, it's
The Patty family tree. So this is grandma's side.
Mm-hmm. Grandma's dad was named George Washington Patty. Did you know
Are you?
that?
What's this one?
Oh, this one is stuff that I had done. Because, I went over and was like, oh, look what I have. And she's like, oh, yeah? And then she came out with it. I'm like she has her own index to it. And
These names, Velma and Vern and Thornton.
the genealogy here, you're about to see mine here. Because this is my jam. But no, it's like,
This is your jam?
yeah.
I've had some fun. I had a couple of breakthroughs. Good. I'm so excited.
Yay.
Oh my God. Wait, for our family? Oh, you've already done
They're great. Yes, they're so great down here.
Also, we're cousins, so.
We're cousins.
Yeah. Hey, fam.
Yeah, hey, fam.
Wow. Come on in.
I have not.
What is
not in
this
person,
one?
but I've seen pictures.
Wow, and Alisha, you're good because you had us going back to Fulton.
I did.
That is where the family's from. These are the immigrant ancestors.
Yes.
Okay, so these are your ancestors.
Yes.
Talks about all of the history, and it does say Alsace-Lorraine. So in the history of the Fulton County, there is something about the Dominique family, but it is on Henry. So these are kind of fluff pieces that people paid to have put into the history, which is how they were able to afford to write all these histories. So let's pull that up.
Yeah, can you just pull this picture up of my dad real quick?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Mom.
She's beautiful.
Yes, she is.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's be honest. People of this generation do not know how to restrict their Facebook. I mean, that's how I confirmed who your brothers were.
This is our dude.
That's Xavier.
Territoire de Belfort.
Belfort is a town, and this is Switzerland. It is literally at the border. The places that the family is from.
Lacolonge.
So, can you read French?
Yeah.
Can you read cursive?
I don't know if I could read like old French. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me see.
There's a-
1819, so we're talking 1819. Oh yeah, 1819.
Well, no, so you can zoom.
You can zoom.
It's this cursive. I swear I speak French, but I don't. I can't read this cursive.
Okay, so here's this name.
Xavier Dominique, domicilié à Collonges, lequel nous a présenté l'enfant. Okay, residing in La Collonge, which presented us the kid, Xavier Dominique.
And you see the
So he's
father's
born in
name,
La
right?
Collonge. François Dominique. Okay. So French. Such a French name.
It
Francois.
Francois this is his marriage.
Wait, Francois was the dad
The dad
of Xavier.
of Xavier.
This is Xavier.
Correct.
So we're in France at this point.
Yes.
Okay, and now this is his father.
Look what year Francois was born.
What, 1768? Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. In the 1700s.
Because it's a you, Dan, Grandpa, Bert, Xavier,
Francois.
and Francois. Yeah.
Look at you, you're French. You have to know French to get to this site.
I'm very thankful for my 4 years of French. And so these are the births.
Births.
Yeah, but do you see where the residence is for some of these people? There's Alsace. This area, like, everybody's just popping out of this place.
I hate to interrupt, but I overheard you talking. You're
Yeah.
talking about Alsace, France, right? Okay, my family came from Alsace, France as well, way back.
Hey,
And,
brother.
it could be. But Besançon, France is not too far outside.
Yeah, it's right there.
And so I actually go to St. Louis, Besançon.
Is
You go
that-
to St. Louis, Besançon, like Besançon's right out here,
out in New
out
Haven.
east.
Yep.
That's where we had Thanksgiving and
So like if you go into that church,
yeah.
all the names on there are all the old French names that originally donated money to erect the church.
When did your people come over?
Oh boy.
He's like, let me pull up the documents.
Every territory has their own departmental archive, and then you just put in the town, and then you can find the records.
And then you have to learn French.
You have to learn French.
Or Google Translate.
Ding!
That's the way to go.
The names can change quite a bit, and it's really interesting. It's hit or miss to whether or not you're going to find the same names, because people use their middle names instead of their first names a lot. So it could be Marie Catherine and then go by Catherine. It could be Jean-Pierre and go by Pierre. That's why genealogy is very confusing.
How far is Fulton County from here, Fort Wayne?
Oh, it's not far at all.
No?
No, you could go over there. It's not far.
French immigrants to the United States could also expect a warm welcome from Americans who remembered fondly the assistance provided by France to the United States during the Revolutionary War. Back when we used to welcome immigrants.
When was that?
When was that? Yeah.
It wasn't really sneaking in. At that point, we just were open.
Did your thing, yeah.
Came on over.
We were a new country. The shores were open. They didn't restrict people from entering.
But I was having a hard time finding anything about him coming in Castle Rock.
But New Orleans would make sense because it was a French town, Nouvelle-Orléans.
That to me makes even less sense than how they got here.
Yeah, like,
I'm sorry.
how'd you get
Why
from
did you keep going farther north and it was cold? Oh, another winter. I'll just go a little farther north.
Right.
No, thank you. No, thank you. And like, look at this. You're in the middle of nowhere. So like, what?
And even back in the day, even more. They really had enough of France back then. They're like, I don't want to see another French person.
Out here, they're like, I don't want to see another person. Like, damn.
We are here to find our ancestors, Xavier, Dominique, and Marie Fleury, Mary Flory, Dominique. And wow, we had money back in the day. No, this cost so much money back in the day. This would cost money today. This was Xavier Dominique Sr. He's the one who came from France here.
That's his headstone, her headstone. Grandpa's grandpa.
This is Grandpa's grandpa?
This is Grandpa's grandpa and Grandpa's grandpa right here, yeah.
So Grandpa's great-grandpa came from France. So what does that make it for us?
It's 3 times great. He comes from France all the way over here, okay? And he buys 160 acres across right there.
Gotta clean Grandpa and Grandma up. After walking around the cemetery, I must say, the Dominiques and Florys ran these streets. There are nothing but Dominiques and Florys. That's so interesting though, and even like the literacy thing. If somebody's not literate and they just kind of know sounds, they'll write it however they hear it, you know?
So the person who wrote it down couldn't understand what they were saying. People change their names because of pronunciations. So this would be pronounced Flory.
By the way, Flory is totally like an American butchering of the French last name Fleury, F-L-E-U-R-Y, but in English we have a hard time pronouncing the U sound, so they totally just got rid of the EU and made it an O. Now, you can't just come all the way to ARCHBOLD, Ohio, Fulton County, Ohio, and just see the graves. We're gonna go see the plot of land that our ancestor Xavier Dominique purchased back in the day, because remember, one of the big draws of moving to the United States back in the day was the idea of having your own land and being able to cultivate your own crops, and I just like have space, not have to deal with people like Napoleon and all the kings back in France.
So it's from here to that house that you see
way down there.
See, we're gonna go around and pull up that road on the other side there. So like right through there.
Crazy. This is where they lived.
Yeah.
For so many years. This is it.
It's not like it's a big booming place, you know. Like how did they pick this? Did they throw darts at a map back then?
And this was my grandpa's land back in the day. On the map, as I look at this, you ever heard of Montpelier, Ohio? Mm-hmm. You know, it's just now, yeah, I'm just now realizing it's Montpellier, which is a city in France, or Napoleon, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And all makes
Which, why
sense.
would they escape from
Why would
come over
they
here
exactly?
and name?
They named it there and then they never went there. I don't know.
That might have been where they dumped all their trash or something.
Right there next to Hicksville. I clicked the wrong button.
Go back and can you just tell me?
Can you just tell me the whole thing again? Went into the antique mall, which is across from the plot of land that our ancestors used to own, and we thought maybe they'll know something. Why did they come here? It was a government incentive to revitalize the swampland.
Correct. He was. Yeah.
He said it a lot better than I did, but
He's
something
turning
like
the
that.
swampy, marshy land into, he said, some of the most fertile farmland in the Midwest.
So after stopping in the antique, whoa, wrong way. So after stopping in the antique market, he's like, oh, you need Dominique? Need some information? Go down to Bummer at Icky's. We stopped into Icky's.
I think that's why I want to live out here. Are you Mr. Bummer, Dominic?
Yeah.
Do you say Dominic or Dominique?
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 Whichever you want. What are you selling?
I'm Alisha Dominique.
What are you selling?
So trying to trace our line, our Dominique line, where it came from.
Who's your grandfather?
Donald Dominique, but he came from Xavier.
Xavier. Yeah, Xavier was all of us. His great-great-grandfather.
Yeah.
The Dominic men have pretty good longevity.
Wow, let me just say real quick, before we walked in this place, I said, wow, I wonder what Icky's stands for. That's our last name. Dominique.
Dominique Icky, they said. Dominique Icky.
I wonder why, because we were gross or what? Dominique Icky. All I gotta say is our family knows how to procreate.
It is cold over here in the winter.
It's cold, you gotta keep warm. It's true. Well, today is my last day in Fort Wayne, Indiana before I go back to Paris. All right, now reminder, I'm only 1/4 Dominique, right? It's just that in our society, the man's name is somehow more important than the female name, so we all just take our father's name for the most part. So I've gone my entire life thinking that I'm French, 100% French. Like back in the day, my ancestors were all from France, when really, it's just 1/4 of me is French. 1/4 of me is Patty, 1/4 of me is Harder, and 1/4 of me is Falsing. So it's just the fact that I've grown up my entire life really identifying with my French last name. Maybe that's why I've been so interested in French. And maybe that's why I decided to go to Paris in the first place, because I grew up my entire life thinking I was more connected to France, when really, I'm just as connected to Irish, Patty, German, Harder, and German, Falsing. With all that being said, I'm gonna go back home to Paris, France, where I don't need this quarter. I'm gonna go back home to Paris, France, and check out, what's happening with the Dominiques over there. That'll be fun to find, since Dominique is basically Smith and Johnson and Thompson and Jackson. Wish me luck. Home sweet home. Réservation sous le nom de Damon. The funniest part of all this is I really thought on that 4-hour train from Paris that I was gonna be doing all the research for this video. With what Wi-Fi? With what network? So there I was, rereading the same documents I read about 15 times at this point. Y'all, I could write a whole research paper on the Dominique family history and Swiss, French, and German immigration to the United States in the 1830s. The more I get on these websites, the more it's just like the man's name and the man and then the man, and it's just like women. Let me just read something for you real quick. François Dominique, âgé de 50 ans. Translation, he had this kid at 50 years old. See, I knew there was a reason why my family was so fertile. Did you guys know I have like 9 I don't even know the correct number because there's a new baby every single year. I think I have 9 nieces and nephews, possibly 10. Which makes me believe that my brothers can be having kids like whenever they want, like, or whenever, not necessarily when they want. Okay. Sorry. Think of me like, thank you, whoever it was, however it happened, that I turned out, that my sexuality is definitely not straight. I'd be having, my kids would be everywhere. Okay, let's get back to this. I just found out that the website I've been using to look up all these French records in this area, it's a 3-minute walk. Juste les mêmes documents que j'avais déjà peut-être vus en ligne.
Oui, mais vous allez les voir en vrai.
Oui, c'est ça l'esprit.
C'est celle-là. Pas beaucoup bougé depuis 1840.
Okay, after a few hours of research, I was able to find the original signed documents like birth certificates, marriage certificates. I found census reports that pointed to the date that my French ancestor most likely left France because he wasn't on the next census. I found plots of land that the Dominique family bought and sold. And you know what? I found exactly where they're located, baby. So let's go! Alright, we got a rowdy group of teenagers on their way, so I'm gonna do this quickly. Oh, and we got a freaking tornado. I thought I left Indiana. Okay. This morning, I had breakfast so innocently at Immigrant over here. It's a chain, I'm not proud of it. As I'm walking out of my little genealogy research, they handed me this. Basically, where I had breakfast this morning used to be where people would go to like get their documents before they went to the States. So, this is the building now. And this is the building back in the day. So in reality, L'Ami Colline is right there where I ate breakfast, had my little espresso with croissant, no big deal. But actually, the immigration center used to be right in here, which means that my ancestor had to have walked through these doors. Home sweet home. Well, a few observations. It smells like horse manure. My bag also was stinking up the entire bus because I bought this goat cheese sandwich. Like truly, something must be done. Let's continue, shall we? Vous habitez ici? Je fais un peu de recherche sur mes origines, parce que je suis américain, mais mon ancêtre français venait d'ici. Xavier Dominique.
Dominique? Ah oui, d'accord.
Il est parti en 1836.
Ouais, bon, c'est bon.
Ça fait 200 ans quand même.
Ça, j'ai pas connu, oui.
Donc,
je suis du siècle passé, mais ouais, vous aussi, je pense. Mais bon.
Moi, j'ai grandi dans l'Indiana et c'est un peu pareil en fait. Mais je disais, c'est marrant parce que je suis ici et j'ai pris un sandwich fromage chèvre ce matin. La première chose que je vois quand je suis ici, c'est un fromage de chèvre. Donc, c'est vraiment dans mes racines. Hein.
Donc, en fait, c'est une ferme de ce côté-ci, il y a les vaches laitières. Mon frère qui habite juste à côté. Et lui, il a les chèvres là.
Ok, bon, bah, je vais faire le tour. Je crois que ça va prendre 5-10 minutes. This is my town, apparently. I'm the only one here. Ta-da! Okay. So this is apparently the Mairie de Lacollonge. I guess this is where all the birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates, any document was signed here. Oh, it's open. Bonjour. Est-ce que ça c'est la mairie qui existait pendant tout le temps?
À ma connaissance, oui.
Ok, donc c'est vraiment ici. Bon, est-ce qu'il y a des choses à faire?
Bah, vous voulez quoi?
Je sais pas. Ils sont passés par ici.
Oui, c'était l'école à l'époque.
Qu'est-ce que je fais? Je fais une vidéo. Parce que je viens d'ici, mais il y a 200 ans.
La maison Dominique, comme mon père disait.
C'est là-bas, non?
C'est pas la première, c'est la deuxième à droite, là.
Mais attends, vous êtes le frère de lui?
Oui. Quoi, vous avez déjà vu lui?
Oui, je lui ai déjà parlé, il a dit que vous étiez en face.
Et après, pas la grande grange, là, mais celle-là juste après qui est rénovée. C'était aussi à chez Dominique, ça.
So, apparently this is where they were.
Pas beaucoup bougé depuis 1840.
This is where I could have grown up. Well, now they sell dry wood if anyone needs it. So this was one house. 136, lots 136, and the other house is apparently down here. What am I doing? This feels so geeky, but it feels so fun. It would have been this. I had a mini freak out. Because on Google Maps it says there's no more buses and there are no cars available on Uber. So I'm gonna have to jack somebody's tractor and drive it back to BELFORT. There's a man over here just grilling me, but I guess they're just very, very confused. They've never oh, he's walking over here. Let's see what he has to say. Bonjour. Je fais une vidéo. Je fais une vidéo parce que je viens de cette ville, mais il y a 200 ans.
Oui.
Dominique, la famille de Dominique.
Ah, Dominique, oui.
Et normalement, c'était une de ces maisons
oui,
ici.
Là-bas, il faut demander aux ancêtres, parce que moi...
J'ai demandé à tout le monde, je crois que j'ai parlé à tout le monde dans cette ville. Normalement, il y a des bus qui...
Oui,
ok,
ouais,
cool, fou.
Ah non,
parce que sinon, c'est vous qui allez me conduire. Non,
il n'y a aucun souci. Quasiment tous les heures.
Ok, très bien. Et ça vous intéresse pas d'aller vivre dans les grandes villes? Non, non, non.
Non, pas du tout.
C'est comme ma famille dans l'Indiana, pareil. Moi, j'aime bien.
Oui, non, mais t'es jeune.
Ouais, c'est ça. Toi aussi?
Non, je suis près de la retraite, moi.
Ah, c'est ça. Yes, yes, yes. Ok. Ciao, ciao. Wow. I feel at home. Bonjour. Wait, pause right there. The fact that I'm in Lacollonge, France, getting on the bus via an app to a bus driver who's jamming out to modern hip-hop music, just put that all together. Bonjour. Oh, I have so many observations from this trip. I have questions. I'm really trying to like get in their heads 200 years ago, right? Because if you think you're leaving your town, there's not gonna be any communication, letters will take months to even get there, and you're leaving literally your entire family to go move to a new country. Imagine like the drama that used to happen. Families are probably like, I can't believe you're leaving us behind. How dare you? Your family's not important to you. And also let's think about the fact that like it takes months to cross the ocean. Like you're probably not gonna come back. When he left, I think he was 20 years old. He probably never came back here. At least I haven't found his documents. You leave your hometown and you're never gonna see it again, and you probably know that when you leave. Imagine the drama. Okay, everybody stick with me for this one because it's kind of a stretch. It is definitely a reach. In a way, I am kind of like Jacques Xavier Dominique 200 years later, because here I am, I traversed the ocean, although it wasn't as triumphant as I would like it to seem. I left for something in terms of my career, whereas he also kind of did the same thing. He left for economic opportunity elsewhere. What if my independent go-get-em side was from him? My great-great-great-grandfather, of course it is. I know that the amount of his DNA in my current DNA is probably like 0.2, but I'm still here just trying to make it all make sense because I did spend money to come here and I want to make sure that I got my money's worth. Something else that's really interesting about this whole thing is that if people from Indiana are called Hoosiers, right? No, you didn't know that? People from Indiana are called Hoosiers. And nobody knows, nor have I ever heard anyone even question what a Hoosier actually is, where we got the nickname. Like, what is a Hoosier? Who came up with that? And when you really think of it, Hoosier, it kind of sounds French in a way, like an English version of a French word. Okay, so then I'm doing my research and I see that some guy did some linguistic research paper about how the term Hoosier started appearing in publications around 1833, which was when there were a lot of waves of French immigration to the Midwest. Okay, stick with me. Hoosier, 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 Hoosier. Like, come on. Hoosier means redness, which could maybe be translated as something like redneck. Then to counter that, that's not at all how you would say that in French. Like, I don't even know if they have a word for like a redneck. And not to get all existential, philosophical on you guys. Oh my kidding, this is Damon Dominique channel, let's do it. Will we all, once our lives are finished, just be forgotten? The Dominique family was here 200 years ago, and it makes me wonder, 200 years in the future, yo, that's 2220. Will we even be on Earth? Well, gotta go. Remember, I made a video last summer in Indiana, and I said this on the way home. The person who got to choose like where the future generations of their family's legacy will like play out, they're the luckiest one. I wrote this. We all just grow up where we do because our parents made a decision to raise us there, for better or worse. But is that city really for us? Or are we really just the results of past generations' actions? If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, the Damon Dominique channel. And in all honesty, I hope that in addition to entertainment, I hope you got from this video like a sense of not just taking things as they're given to you and to really think about your situation right now. Like, wait, how did I get here? Literally, how did I get here? We didn't just plop out of the earth. Like, we are all here because of somebody else. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Izu. I gotta go there. Okay, we're gonna go to bed. Y'all, it's 9:15 and you can hear everything. I'm sure people are so mad at me. I'm a Dominique. So much going on here. Y'all, I was reading this thinking I was gonna find where the female French ancestor came from, and it said like she died here, but like this says she was full and alive, healthy and alive in Ohio. So that can't be true. My ancestors came here from France to give, I don't know, a better life. Not me specifically, they didn't even know I was gonna be around. Neither did my parents until
1815. Almost nothing was the same, and what was considered a normal map of Europe then would be completely unrecognizable for most of us looking on from the future.
Great. I have a feeling this is gonna be too windy because I'm in the middle of probably my family's old land. My biggest question is, why leave France just to go to the same place in the States? Well, economic opportunity in the 1830s, how about that? It's a farm town. It's a farm town. And it's a farm town. And then I think of like the level of love people had, like how deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to know. Something like that. And yes, I've done those spit in the tube DNA tests to see where exactly you're from, and it was spot on, you guys. 99.4% Northwestern European. 99.4? 36% French and German, 35% British and Irish, and that equals 70-something, 80%. The rest was somewhere in Europe. The rest was basically Scandinavia. So all of that to say, white. The questions that I still have, I'm just like, did anybody come back to France? Like, it's very common for you to move someplace, go visit someplace, and it not be what you thought it was gonna be. Am I the first one since Xavier? Am I the first one to like be able to speak French? You know, like, I wanna know more of the story. I wanna know the real story, not just the story we tell the government. In Indiana, I'm from a town that has a lot of Amish people. Like, you go to Walmart and there are stables for their horses. You're on the highway and you see horse and buggies. They're always dressed up, they're in Walmart, they're shopping for whatever they need to get there. And it's so interesting now that I look at it because they were never speaking English. They were always speaking, it was like German of some sort. And when I looked into this, y'all, Amish coming directly from Switzerland, neighboring Alsace and Montbéliard, first came to the Midwest in the 1830s. Did I used to be Amish? I sure got the pants that look like it. All my pants like are just like this.